India is at a tipping point, and it feels so great to be here. You can just feel the vibrancy, the dynamism.
Apple opened its first ever retail store in India in Mumbai in April 2023. Since then, the demand of iPhone production has been increasing at an unprecedented rate due to the world-class quality of the gadgets. The CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, established it. But what would be the reason for implementing the Apple market in India? Let us see this in detail. Why is India of such an importance to Apple? The international trip is the clearest indication yet that India has emerged as a major strategic priority for Apple. As supply chains shift away from China and its smartphone market becomes increasingly saturated with iPhone users, India might play the same role in Apple's business as China has for the past 15 years. A big market with a rising middle class to drive sales growth and perhaps a home base for manufacturing millions of Apple gadgets. According to analysts, India's enormous population and mature economy are ideal for Apple to make inroads into the nation by expanding marketing efforts and offering retail. At the same time, India's government is ready to collaborate with Apple to enable manufacturing in the nation. Apple has room to expand in the subcontinent, according to Angelo Zeno, senior analyst at CFRA Research. Apple has less than 5% of the smartphone market share in India, compared to around 18% in China. Most smartphones sold in both nations run Google's Android operating system. Zeno stated that if one observes India now, it bears a striking resemblance to China 15 to 20 years ago. He underlined that the long-term impact of the natural richness will be critical in allowing Apple to fully establish itself and reap significantly bigger income prospects in India. The opportunity might be so huge for the company. In fiscal 2022, Apple made $74 billion in sales in China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. This is around 18% of Apple's overall income at that time. India has not yet been individually tallied. It is included with other markets in a category labeled as the remaining of the Pacific, which reported only $29 billion in sales for the same period. According to corporate documents in India, cited by local media, Apple sales in the nation in fiscal 2022 were over $4 billion, while Bloomberg reported earlier this week that Apple recorded around $6 billion in sales in the fiscal year ended in March. Cook has also compared India and China to investors. In an earnings call earlier this year, Tim Cook noted that they were transferring the lessons they had learned in China years ago. India is the largest untapped market for the iPhone, making it vital for sales growth. In February, Cook bragged about how well the business was luring switchers to the nation. This is what Apple refers to former Android phone customers who opt out to purchase their first iPhone. Cook said in February that the quarter ending in December saw Apple's best ever iPhone sales in India. According to statistics, Android holds more than 95% of the market shares in the nation. Cost is the key justification. Even the least costly new Apple iPhone is more expensive than most phones sold in India. According to industry analyst IDC's estimate from February, the average selling price of a smartphone in India is $224, which climbed 18% in 2022. The iPhone SE, Apple's entry-level phone, cost $429 in the United States. Apple may close the gap by allowing customers to pay for new phones in installments or offering them a discount for turning in an older handset. During a February interview, Cook was asked about India and acknowledged similar tactics. Tim Cook stated that major efforts had been made to increase accessibility and provide people with additional purchase alternatives through financing options and trade-ins. The Apple company is expecting a boost in its sales. The country-specific production of Apple products is the second component of the plan, a vast undertaking that necessitates not just Apple's attention, but also the work of local and federal governments and its manufacturing partners. Currently, almost all iPhones are made in China, which had led to some issues over the past 5 years. As Apple searches for non-Chinese manufacturing choices, India may be a huge winner. India's business minister told CNBC in January that Apple was producing its newest iPhone 14 and that the country hoped to create up to 25% of all iPhones. Apple's main manufacturing partner, Foxconn, is allegedly investing $700 million in Bangalore to create an iPhone components factory. Foxconn manages a significant percentage of the new iPhone's assembly in China. The India government is anxious to embrace Apple and use it as a symbol to entice other high-tech companies to the nation for manufacture and development, drawing yet another similarity to China. Investors have already expressed excitement about Apple's prospects in India, but other experts caution that it may take some time before the country develops into a sizable market. According to Zeno, he told investors that the positive publicity surrounding India at the time was well-deserved. Over the following 10 years, he indicated they saw a huge possibility, but he cautioned them not to expect things to change quickly. India appears to have good possibilities of luring foreign industries, at least on paper. An important victory from Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Make in India program came when Apple Incorporated started manufacturing its most recent iPhone models there, making a substantial departure from its custom of keeping much of the work for massive Chinese plants controlled by the primary Taiwanese assemblers. According to a minister, the U.S. tech giant Apple, which just launched a second location in the significant mobile phone market, might double or quadruple its investments in exports to India over the next several years. Apple mostly assembles iPhones through contract manufacturers in India, but it also has ambitions to produce iPads and AirPods there. The Deputy Information Technology Minister, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, voiced his strong belief that the cooperation between Apple and India had enormous possibilities for investments, growth, exports, and job creation. He believed that these factors would potentially double or treble in the years to come. His remarks were made during a meeting on Wednesday with Apple CEO Tim Cook in the nation's capital, New Delhi. Cook said Apple is dedicated to developing and investing throughout the country and said he had also spoken with the Prime Minister. He opened an Apple store in New Delhi on Thursday, 2 days after doing so in Mumbai, the nation's financial center. Apple has been working to expand its manufacturing operations in India to lessen its dependency on China. Foxconn and Wistron Corp, two Taiwanese contract electronics manufacturers, construct their products, including iPhones, in India. Apple mostly assembles iPhones through contract manufacturers in India, but it also has ambitions to produce iPads and AirPods there. A distinctive roadblock at Apple Saket, officially opened, was inspired by Delhi's numerous gates. With its distinctively curved facade and white wood tables showcasing all of the business's accessories and goods, the store welcomes clients. The team consists of individuals from 18 various Indian states fluent in more than 15 Indian languages. Genius Bar designed pickup areas, and today at Apple Sessions are just a few of Apple's Saket services. What is Apple's investing strategy? Since 2018, the business has acquired over 25 businesses, including VR streaming platform NextVR and edge-based AI firm Xnor.ai. In addition to additional investments in Europe and India, Apple has pledged $430 billion for new investments and 20,000 new employees over 5 years in the U.S. in silicon engineering, AI, and 5G technology. What is Apple's business approach? Apple's business approach may be vertically integrated since the corporation has superior hardware, software, and services knowledge. One key element distinguishing Apple from its rivals is its vertical integration. The business has reaped enormous benefits from its vertical integration. Specifically, Apple's ecosystem, made possible by such integrations, is a significant source of its competitive advantage. Apple's apps and devices sync effortlessly and function nicely together. There's little change in user interface across applications that run simultaneously on different Apple devices. The same products, however, do not complement those made by other firms, resulting in something akin to a closed ecosystem. The ecosystem of Apple makes moving to the competitors more expensive for its users. The ecosystem also offers chances to use connections with current clients to market other goods and services. Thus, we have gone through why India became Apple's spot eye. If you enjoyed our content, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, comment your thoughts below in the comment box.